You don't control what happens, but you always control how you respond. Obstacles are not your enemy. They are your invitation to evolve. Life is not built in comfort, it's built in challenge. Every setback, every difficulty, every painful moment, it's not here to stop you, it's here to sharpen you. The impediment to action becomes the action. That's not a quote, it's a way of life. You don't run from resistance, you use it. Because everything life throws at you is fuel, if you choose to see it that way. Subscribe to our channel if you're ready to master your mind, and tell us, where are you watching from? Listen to me carefully. What happens is fate. How you face it is character. Master your reaction and you master the moment. The storm comes whether you invite it or not. The betrayal happens whether you deserve it or not. The loss arrives whether you're prepared or not. This is the nature of existence. You are not the author of every chapter in your life, but you are always the author of your response. Most people waste their energy fighting reality. They argue with what is. They demand the world bend to their will. They exhaust themselves trying to control the uncontrollable. This is the path to madness. This is the way of the weak. The philosopher understands a different truth. You cannot command the wind, but you can adjust your sails. You cannot stop the rain, but you can choose how you dance in it. You cannot prevent every hardship, but you can decide who you become through it. Your power lies not in what happens to you. Your power lies in what you make of what happens to you. When someone betrays your trust, you have a choice. Become bitter or become wiser. When you lose what you love, you have a choice. Become broken or become stronger. When life strikes you down, you have a choice. Stay down or rise up. The moment. Between stimulus and response, that is where your freedom lives. That split second when something happens and you must decide how to react. In that pause, you are completely sovereign. No one can take that from you. No circumstance can strip you of that power. But here's what most people don't understand. Your reaction shapes more than just your experience. It shapes your character. Each time you choose wisdom over impulse, you become wiser. Each time you choose courage over comfort, you become braver. Each time you choose virtue over vengeance, you become stronger. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a student of them. Every obstacle teaches you something about yourself. Every challenge reveals what you're made of. Every hardship offers you the chance to prove your worth, not to others, but to yourself. The weak man asks why this happened to him. The strong man asks what he can learn from what happened to him. The weak man curses his fate. The strong man embraces his fate and transforms it into fuel for growth. This is not about pretending pain doesn't hurt. This is not about denying difficulty. This is about understanding that your response to pain determines whether it weakens you or strengthens you. Your reaction to difficulty determines whether it defeats you or develops you. You cannot control the actions of others. You cannot control the turns of fortune. You cannot control the timing of loss or the arrival of hardship. But you can control your thoughts. You can control your decisions. You can control your actions. In this control lies your dignity. In this control lies your power. In this control lies your freedom. When the next obstacle comes, and it will come, remember this: you are not at the mercy of what happens. You are the master of how you respond. And in that mastery, you find not just survival, but transformation. The impediment to action becomes the action. The obstacle becomes the way. Not because life is easy, but because you choose to make it meaningful. What happens is fate. How you face it is character. Master your reaction, and you master the moment. Pain, loss, failure, they're not the enemy. They're your teachers. The path forward runs directly through them. You've been taught to avoid difficulty. You've been conditioned to seek the easy path. You've been told that obstacles are problems to be solved, burdens to be removed, enemies to be defeated. This is a lie that keeps you small. The obstacle is not blocking your path. The obstacle is your path. Every great man in history understood this truth. Every emperor who built an empire, Every philosopher who discovered wisdom, every warrior who achieved victory, they did not succeed despite their obstacles. They succeeded because of them. When fire meets wood, it does not destroy the wood. It transforms it into light and heat. When pressure meets coal, it does not crush the coal. It transforms it into diamond. When challenge meets character, it does not break the character. It reveals what was always there. Your obstacles are not accidents. They are appointments. They are not punishments. They are preparations. Life is not trying to stop you. Life is trying to strengthen you. But here's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Most people see obstacles and turn back. They look for an easier route. They wait for conditions to improve. They hope someone will remove the barrier for them. This is why most people remain ordinary. The exceptional person sees the same obstacle and moves toward it, not around it, not over it, not under it, through it, because they understand what others do not. The obstacle contains the very thing they need to become who they're meant to be. Think about your greatest growth. When did it happen? In moments of comfort or moments of challenge? When everything was easy or when everything was hard? When life was smooth or when life was rough? You know the answer. Growth lives in difficulty. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It is your prison. It keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. It protects you from failure, but it also protects you from greatness. The life you want exists on the other side of the obstacles you're avoiding. Every obstacle teaches you something essential. Rejection teaches you resilience. Loss teaches you what truly matters. Failure teaches you how to try again better. Betrayal teaches you discernment. Hardship teaches you strength. Pain teaches you compassion. You cannot learn these lessons in comfort. You cannot develop these qualities in ease. You cannot build this character in safety. The obstacle is not just the way forward. The obstacle is the way up. When you face your next challenge, do not ask why this is happening to you. Ask what this is trying to teach you. Do not curse the difficulty. Study it. Do not resent the resistance. Use it. Do not avoid the pain. Transform it. The river that flows around the rock remains the same river. The river that carves through. The rock becomes something powerful. The person who avoids obstacles remains the same person. The person who faces them becomes extraordinary. Your obstacles are not randomly distributed. They are specifically designed for your development. The challenge you face today is exactly what you need to become who you're meant to be tomorrow. The skill you lack, the strength you need, the wisdom you seek, it's all hidden inside the difficulty you're trying to avoid. This is why running from obstacles is running from growth. This is why seeking the easy path is seeking to remain small. This is why avoiding discomfort is avoiding your destiny. The obstacle is not your enemy. It is your invitation. It is not your problem. It is your opportunity. It is not your curse. It is your calling. Stop looking for ways around your challenges. Start looking for ways through them. Stop asking how to avoid difficulty. Start asking how to use it. Stop wishing obstacles would disappear. Start understanding why they appeared. The path you want is not the path that avoids obstacles. The path you want is the path that transforms. Obstacles into stepping stones, roadblocks into building blocks, setbacks into comebacks. The obstacle is the way. Not because life is cruel, but because you are capable. Not because you deserve hardship, but because you deserve growth. Not because the journey should be easy, but because you were built for the climb. You don't rush to fix. You pause to understand. Acceptance is not surrender. It is strategy. In the heat of crisis, your first instinct is to react, to fix, to fight, to flee. This instinct will destroy you if you let it. The wise man does something different. He pauses. The pause is not hesitation. The pause is power. In that moment of stillness, you reclaim control. You stop being a slave to circumstance and become the master of your response. Most people fear the pause because they think it means doing nothing. They are wrong. The pause is where everything begins. It is where wisdom lives. It is where strategy is born. It is where you transform from reactor to actor. When the storm hits, do not immediately reach for the oars. First, understand the direction of the wind. When the crisis arrives, do not immediately start solving. First, understand the nature of the problem. When chaos erupts, do not immediately take action. First, understand what action is needed. This is the difference between motion and progress. Motion is busy. Progress is intentional. Motion reacts. Progress responds. Motion is driven by emotion. Progress is guided by wisdom. But here's what most people don't understand about acceptance. Acceptance is not giving up. Acceptance is growing up. It is not passive resignation. It is active recognition. You accept what is, so you can work with reality instead of against it. The man who fights the rain gets wet and exhausted. The man who accepts the rain and seeks shelter stays dry and strong. The woman who denies her loss stays stuck in grief. The woman who accepts her loss begins to heal. The person who resists change gets broken by it. The person who accepts change gets strengthened by it. Acceptance is not agreeing with what happened. Acceptance is acknowledging what happened. You do not have to like reality to work with reality. You do not have to approve of circumstances to leverage circumstances. You do not have to enjoy obstacles to use obstacles. When you pause and accept, you see clearly. When you see clearly, you act wisely. When you act wisely, you transform obstacles into opportunities, setbacks into setups, problems into possibilities. The sequence matters. Pause first. Accept second. Act third. Skip any step and you will stumble. Rush to action without pause and you will act foolishly. Pause without acceptance and you will remain paralyzed. Accept without action and you will stay stuck. Pause. What is actually happening here? Not what you wish was happening, not what should be happening. What is actually happening? Strip away the emotion. Remove the judgment. See the situation as it is. Accept. This is the reality you must work with, not the reality you wanted, not the reality you expected, the reality that exists. You cannot change what has already happened. You can only change what happens next. Act. Now that you understand what is and have accepted what is the wisest next move? Not the fastest move, not the most dramatic move, the wisest move, the move that serves your long-term growth and success. This process transforms you from victim to victor, from prisoner to free man, from reactor to creator. You stop being at the mercy of circumstances and start being the master of your destiny. The storm does not care about your schedule. The crisis does not respect your plans. The obstacle does not consider your feelings. But you can care about your response. You can respect your own wisdom. You can consider your own growth. When you pause, you reclaim your power. When you accept, you align with reality. When you act, you shape your future. This is not just a method for handling difficulty. This is a way of living with dignity. Every master understands this sequence. Every wise person practices this process. Every strong individual has learned to pause before they act, to accept before they fight, to understand before they move. The next time chaos comes, and it will come, remember this. Your power lies not in your ability to immediately fix everything. Your power lies in your ability to pause, accept, and then act with wisdom. This is how you turn crisis into opportunity. This is how you transform pressure into power. This is how you become unshakable in a world that never stops shaking. Every hardship is training. You are being prepared, not punished. The gladiator does not complain about the weight of his sword during practice. The athlete does not resent the burn in her muscles during training. The musician does not curse the difficulty of the scales during rehearsal. They understand something you must learn. Resistance creates strength. Your current struggle is not a mistake. It is a master class. Your present difficulty is not a detour. It is your destination. You are not being punished by life. You are being prepared by life. But here's what separates the strong from the weak. The weak see hardship and ask, "Why me?" The strong see hardship and ask, "What is this teaching me?" The weak view challenges as problems. The strong view challenges as training programs designed specifically for their development. Every resistance you face is resistance training for your character. Every obstacle you encounter is conditioning for your strength. Every setback you experience is preparation for your comeback. You are not suffering. You are studying. You are not being broken. You are being built. Think of the blacksmith. He does not apologize to the iron for the heat of the forge. He knows the fire is necessary. Without the flames, there is no transformation. Without the pressure, there is no shaping. Without the resistance, there is no refinement. You are the iron. Life is the blacksmith. The challenges you face are the fire that transforms you from raw material into something useful, something beautiful, something strong. Do not curse the heat. Understand its purpose. The soldier trains in peacetime so he can survive in wartime. The surgeon practices on cadavers so she can save lives. The pilot simulates emergencies so he can handle real ones. Your hardships are simulations. Your struggles are rehearsals. Your obstacles are training grounds. When the real test comes, and it will come, you will be ready. Not because life has been easy on you, but because life has been preparing you. Not because you avoided difficulty, but because you embraced it. Not because you were lucky, but because you were trained. Every person who has achieved greatness understood this principle. They did not see their challenges as interruptions to their success. They saw their challenges as the very thing that would create their success. They did not wait for easier times. They used the hard times to become ready for any time. Your current pain is developing your future strength. Your present confusion is developing your future clarity. Your immediate struggle is developing your eventual mastery. Nothing is wasted. Everything is training. But here's the key. You must train with intention. The person who lifts weights randomly gets random results. The person who lifts weights with purpose gets powerful results. The person who faces hardship randomly gets random growth. The person who faces hardship with purpose gets powerful growth. What is this situation trying to teach you? What skill is it trying to develop? What strength is it trying to build? What wisdom is it trying to impart? When you answer these questions, hardship stops being something that happens to you and becomes something that works for you. The champion boxer does not avoid the heavy bag because it's hard to hit. He hits it because it's hard to hit. The elite student does not avoid difficult subjects because they're challenging. She studies them because they're challenging. The wise person does not avoid obstacles because they're uncomfortable. He faces them because they're uncomfortable. Comfort does not create champions. Ease does not produce excellence. Safety does not generate strength. You become extraordinary by doing what ordinary people avoid. You develop mastery by embracing what others escape from. Your resistance is your rehearsal. Your struggle is your school. Your obstacle is your opportunity to practice what you'll need when the stakes are higher and the challenges are greater. Do not waste your training. Do not resent your rehearsal. Do not complain about your conditioning. Embrace it. Use it. Transform through it, because the person you're becoming through this process is the person you'll need to be for what's coming next. Every hardship has a lesson. Every challenge has a gift. Every obstacle has a purpose. Your job is not to avoid the training. Your job is to graduate from it stronger, wiser, and more prepared than when you entered it. This is how you turn your mess into your message. This is how you transform your test into your testimony. This is how you convert your resistance into your readiness. Anger clouds judgment. Fear distorts truth. Master your emotions, or become a slave to them. The enemy is not outside you. The enemy is inside you. It is not the person who wronged you. It is the anger that consumes you. It is not the situation that threatens you. It is the fear that paralyzes you. It is not the loss that devastates you. It is the despair that drowns you. Every external battle is won or lost in the internal battle first. Every external victory begins with internal mastery. Every external defeat starts with internal surrender. Master your emotions, and you masters your life. Become slave to your emotions, and you become slave to everything. Most people believe emotions just happen to them. They think feelings are facts. They assume their first emotional reaction is their only option. This is the thinking of a child. The wise person understands emotions are visitors, not residents. They come and they go. You can acknowledge them without obeying them. When anger rises, you have a choice. Feed it or starve it. When fear whispers, you have a choice. Listen to it or dismiss it. When despair knocks, you have a choice. Open the door or keep it locked. You are not your emotions. You are the one who experiences emotions. Anger feels powerful, but it makes you weak. It feels justified, but it makes you foolish. It feels righteous, but it makes you wrong. The angry person loses twice. First, they lose their peace. Then, they lose their wisdom. They become reactive instead of strategic, impulsive instead of intentional, controlled instead of controlling. Fear feels protective, but it imprisons you. It feels cautious, but it paralyzes you. It feels smart, but it blinds you. The fearful person dies 1,000 deaths before their actual death. They avoid so much life in the name of preserving life that they never actually live. But here's what most people don't understand. You are not fighting your emotions. You are leading them. You are not trying to eliminate them. You are trying to direct them. You are not attempting to feel nothing. You are learning to choose what you feel. The master of emotions is not someone who never feels. The master of emotions is someone who feels deeply but responds wisely. They experience the full range of human emotion but are not controlled by any single emotion. They use emotion as information, not as instruction. When someone betrays you, feel the anger, but do not let the anger decide your response. When risk appears, feel the fear, but do not let the fear decide your action. When loss occurs, feel the grief, but do not let the grief decide your future. Emotion is energy. Like all energy, it can be destructive or constructive. It can tear down or build up. It can weaken or strengthen. The difference lies not in the emotion itself, but in how you channel it. Channel anger into determination. Channel fear into preparation. Channel grief into appreciation. Channel frustration into motivation. Channel anxiety into action. Transform the emotional energy from something that works against you into something that works for you. This requires practice. This demands discipline. This needs patience. You will not master your emotions overnight. You will not achieve perfect emotional control immediately, but every time you pause before you react, you grow stronger. Every time you choose your response instead of defaulting to your impulse, you become more free. The weak person is controlled by their emotions. The strong person controls their emotions. The weak person reacts from feeling. The strong person responds from wisdom. The weak person is at the mercy of their mood. The strong person is the master of their mindset. When the next wave of emotion crashes over you, and it will, remember this. You are not drowning. You are swimming. You are not being destroyed. You are being tested. You are not losing control. You are learning control. Feel what you feel. Then choose what you do. Experience the emotion. Then direct the energy. Acknowledge the feeling. Then apply wisdom. This is how you win the first battle. This is how you gain the advantage in every other battle. Your emotions are powerful servants but terrible masters. When you lead them, they serve your highest good. When they lead you, they serve your lowest impulses. The choice is always yours. The battle is always now. This is not about becoming emotionless. This is about becoming emotionally intelligent. This is not about feeling nothing. This is about choosing everything. This is not about suppression. This is about mastery. Master your emotions and you master your destiny. Let your emotions master you, and you surrender your destiny to whatever you happen to feel in any given moment. The choice seems obvious. The practice makes it possible. Hard times reveal where you're weak. That's not failure. That's feedback. You pray for lighter burdens. The wise man prays for stronger shoulders. You hope for easier problems. The wise man hopes for greater problem-solving ability. You wish for a simpler life. The wise man wishes for a more capable self. This distinction separates those who grow from those who shrink, those who rise from those who fall, those who become extraordinary from those who remain ordinary. The direction of your wish reveals the direction of your life. When you wish for easier circumstances, you give your power away. You make your happiness dependent on conditions beyond your control. You become a victim waiting for rescue instead of a victor creating solutions. You surrender your agency to chance. When you wish for greater strength, you reclaim your power. You make your success dependent on qualities within your control. You become a creator of your destiny instead of a casualty of circumstance. You claim responsibility for your growth. The problem with wishing life were easier is that easier rarely makes you better. Comfort creates complacency. Ease generates weakness. Convenience builds fragility. If you got everything you wished for, you would become less than you are capable of being. But here's what you must understand. Life is not trying to make things easy for you. Life is trying to make something great out of you. The resistance you face is not life being cruel. The resistance you face is life being kind enough to help you discover what you're made of. Every great tree grows strong through storms. Every great muscle grows strong through resistance. Every great character grows strong through challenge. You are no different. Your strength comes not from avoiding difficulty, but from persevering through it. The weak person looks at their struggles and thinks, "This shouldn't be happening to me." The strong person looks at their struggles and thinks, "This is exactly what I need to become who I'm meant to be." Your current challenge is not your enemy. It is your opportunity. It is not your punishment. It is your promotion. It is not trying to stop you. It is trying to grow you. But only if you stop wishing it would go away and start asking what it has to teach you. Hard times reveal where you're weak, so you can become strong in those areas. Difficult people show you where your patience needs development. Stressful situations expose where your peace needs cultivation. Painful experiences uncover where your resilience needs building. This is not cruelty. This is kindness. This is not life working against you. This is life working for you. But you must have the wisdom to see feedback as a gift instead of a curse, information as opportunity instead of insult. When the blacksmith works the iron, he does not apologize for the heat. He knows the fire is necessary for transformation. When the trainer pushes the athlete, she does not apologize for the difficulty. She knows the resistance is necessary for strength. When life challenges you, it is not apologizing for the hardship. It knows the struggle is necessary for your development. Do not waste your energy wishing for different circumstances. Invest your energy in developing different capabilities. Do not spend your time hoping for easier problems. Spend your time building better problem-solving skills. Do not use your prayers asking for lighter loads. Use your prayers asking for stronger character. The person who gets stronger can handle whatever comes. The person who waits for easier can only handle what they're comfortable with. The person who develops their capacity can create their own. Security. The person who depends on circumstances must live at the mercy of conditions. You have been thinking too small about yourself. You have been underestimating your potential. You have been settling for survival when you were built for mastery. You have been asking life to shrink, to fit your current strength, instead of asking yourself to grow to meet life's demands. Stop wishing your challenges were smaller. Start believing your capacity is larger. Stop hoping your problems will disappear. Start trusting your ability to solve them. Stop wanting life to be easier. Start wanting yourself to be stronger. This is not just about surviving hard times. This is about thriving through hard times. This is not just about making it through difficulty. This is about being made stronger by difficulty. This is not just about enduring what you cannot change. This is about changing what you can become. The next time you catch yourself wishing things were easier, redirect that energy. Instead of wishing for a lighter burden, wish for stronger shoulders. Instead of hoping for fewer problems, hope for greater wisdom. Instead of wanting life to be simpler, want yourself to be more capable. This single shift in thinking will transform your entire experience. You will stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the victor over them. Overwhelm is a lie. Break it down. Win the next moment. That's all that matters. The mountain looks impossible to climb when you stare at the peak. The book looks impossible to write when you think about the whole manuscript. The business looks impossible to build when you envision the final empire. The life looks impossible to change when you imagine the complete transformation. This is the illusion that stops most people before they start. They look at the entirety of what needs to be done and conclude it cannot be done. They see the full scope of the challenge and decide they are not equal to it. They are right and they are wrong. They are right that they cannot do it all at once. They are wrong that they cannot do it at all. The secret is not doing everything. The secret is doing the next thing. The path to extraordinary results is through ordinary steps taken consistently, one at a time. You do not climb a mountain in a single leap. You climb it one step at a time. You do not write a book in one sitting. You write it one word at a time. You do not build an empire overnight. You build it one decision at a time. You do not transform your life in a moment. You transform it one choice at a time. The next move is the only move that matters because it is the only move you can make. You cannot make yesterday's move. It is gone. You cannot make tomorrow's move. It is not here yet. You can only make today's move, this moment's move, the next move. But here's what most people don't understand about focus. When you focus on the next move instead of the whole war, you do not think smaller. You think clearer. You do not become less ambitious. You become more effective. You do not lower your standards. You sharpen your strategy. The general who tries to fight every battle simultaneously loses every battle. The general who focuses on winning the current battle, then the next battle, then the next, wins the war. The person who tries to solve every problem at once solves no problems. The person who focuses on solving the current problem, then the next problem, then the next, transforms their life. Overwhelm is not about having too much to do. Overwhelm is about thinking about too much at once. It is not that your challenges are too big. It is that you are trying to hold them all in your mind simultaneously. Break them down. Take them on one at a time. Win each battle as it comes. When you feel overwhelmed, you have lost sight of the next move. You are thinking about moves you cannot make in situations that do not yet exist, with resources you do not yet have. Return to what is real. Return to what is now. Return to what is next. What is the next right thing to do? Not the perfect thing, not the complete thing. The next right thing. Do that. Then ask again. What is the next right thing to do? Do that. Then ask again. This is how mountains are moved. This is how empires are built. This is how lives are transformed. The person who focuses on the next move has clarity. The person who focuses on the whole war has confusion. The person who takes the next step has momentum. The person who stares at the destination has paralysis. The person who wins the current moment has power. The person who worries about all future moments has anxiety. You cannot control the entire game, but you can control your next play. You cannot guarantee the final outcome, but you can influence the next action. You cannot determine the ultimate destination, but you can choose the next direction. This is not about thinking small. This is about acting smart. This is not about lowering your vision. This is about sharpening your focus. This is not about accepting less. This is about achieving more through doing better at what is directly in front of you. The master chess player does not try to see every possible game. The master chess player focuses intensely on the best next move. The master surgeon does not Think about every future operation during surgery. The master surgeon focuses completely on the current incision. The master builder does not worry about the entire structure while laying a brick. The master builder focuses on laying the current brick perfectly. Excellence in the moment creates excellence in the outcome. Mastery of the next move leads to mastery of the entire game. Victory in the current battle leads to victory in the war. When you feel like giving up because the goal seems too far away, remember this: you do not have to go the whole distance today. You just have to go the next step. You do not have to solve the entire problem now. You just have to make the next improvement. You do not have to become perfect immediately. You just have to get a little better right now. The next move is your path to power. The next move is your gateway to growth. The next move is your bridge to breakthrough. Focus there. Act there. Win there. Everything else will take care of itself. The calmer your mind, the clearer your decisions. Stillness is not passive. It is tactical. In the center of the storm, there is perfect calm. In the heart of chaos, there is complete peace. In the midst of crisis, there is absolute stillness. This is not an accident of nature. This is a lesson for life. The eye of the hurricane teaches you where your power lives. Most people think stillness means stopping. They believe calmness means giving up. They assume peace means surrendering. They are wrong. Stillness is not the absence of action. Stillness is the presence of intention. Stillness is not being motionless. Stillness is being purposeful. The archer draws back the arrow and holds it perfectly still before release. The stillness is not hesitation. The stillness is preparation. The stillness is not delay. The stillness is precision. The stillness creates the power that drives the arrow to its target. Your mind is the same. The calmer your thoughts, the more accurate your aim. The quieter your internal noise, the clearer your external vision, the more still your inner world, the more effective your outer actions. But here's what most people don't understand about stillness. Stillness is not something you achieve once and keep forever. Stillness is something you return to again and again. It is not a destination. It is a practice. It is not a state you reach. It is a strength you develop. Every master understands this principle. The master martial artist is calm in combat. The master surgeon is steady under pressure. The master pilot is cool in crisis. The master leader is composed in chaos. Their stillness is not natural talent. Their stillness is developed skill. When everything around you is moving too fast, you must learn to slow down your internal pace. When everyone around you is panicking, you must learn to maintain your internal peace. When all around you is confusion, you must learn to preserve your internal clarity. This is not about becoming passive. This is about becoming powerful. The still mind sees what the anxious mind misses. The calm person notices what the frantic person overlooks. The peaceful heart understands what the troubled heart cannot comprehend. In stillness, you hear the whisper of wisdom that anxiety drowns out. In calmness, you see the solution that panic obscures. In peace, you find the path that chaos conceals. Stillness is not withdrawal from the battle. Stillness is your advantage in the battle. The person who maintains stillness in motion becomes unstoppable. They move with purpose instead of panic. They act from wisdom instead of worry. They respond from strength instead of stress. They become the eye of their own storm. This requires practice. In small moments of pressure, practice staying calm. In minor situations of stress, practice maintaining peace. In everyday instances of irritation, practice preserving your inner stillness. These small practices prepare you for the large challenges. When someone tries to provoke you, let stillness be your response. When circumstances try to overwhelm you, let calmness be your strategy. When problems try to consume you, let peace be your power. Do not match chaos with chaos. Meet chaos with stillness. The river that moves slowly cuts deeper than the river that moves quickly. The person who acts from stillness achieves more than the person who acts from frenzy. The decision made in peace endures longer than the decision made in panic. But let me ask you this. Where do you go when you need to think clearly? Where do you retreat when you need to see straight? Where do you return when you need to regain your center? You already know the answer. You go to stillness. You seek silence. You find solitude. This tells you something important. Your wisest self lives in stillness. Your strongest self emerges from calmness. Your most capable self operates from peace. The more you can access this place, the more effective you become in every other place. Stillness is not the absence of power. Stillness is power in its purest form. It is not being weak. It is being wise. It is not giving up. It is gathering strength. It is not stepping back from life. It is stepping into mastery of life. The next time chaos surrounds you, remember this. You do not have to match the energy of your environment. You can be the calm in the storm. You can be the peace in the panic. You can be the stillness in the motion. This is how you become unshakable in a world that never stops shaking. This is how you find your center when everything else is off balance. This is how you become the master of your circumstances instead of the victim of your circumstances. Stillness is strength in motion. The calmer you become, the more powerful you become. The more peaceful you are, the more effective you become. The stiller your mind, the clearer your path forward. The way you see the obstacle defines whether you overcome it or become it. Two people face the same situation. One sees disaster, the other sees opportunity. One sees the end, the other sees the beginning. One sees the problem, the other sees the solution. The situation is identical. The outcome is completely different. What makes the difference? The frame. Your frame is the lens through which you see reality. It determines what you notice and what you ignore. It shapes what you believe is possible and what you assume is impossible. It influences what you feel and how you respond. Your frame is your filter, and your filter determines your future. Most people think they see reality as it is. They believe their perspective is objective truth. They assume their interpretation is the only interpretation. This is the greatest illusion that keeps people trapped. You do not see reality as it is. You see reality as you are. The person who frames challenges as problems becomes overwhelmed by life. The person who frames challenges as puzzles becomes energized by life. The person who frames setbacks as failures becomes discouraged by life. The person who frames setbacks as feedback becomes empowered by life. Your current frame was not given to you by the gods. It was learned. It was constructed. It was chosen. And what was learned can be unlearned. What was constructed can be reconstructed. What was chosen can be chosen differently. But here's what most people don't understand about reframing. Reframing is not lying to yourself. Reframing is not pretending problems don't exist. Reframing is not denying reality. Reframing is choosing which aspect of reality to focus on and how to interpret what you see. Every situation contains multiple truths. Every challenge holds both danger and opportunity. Every setback includes both loss and lesson. Every obstacle presents both barrier and breakthrough. The frame you choose determines which truth you access, which possibility you pursue, which outcome you create. When you lose your job, you can frame it as rejection or redirection. When your relationship ends, you can frame it as abandonment or liberation. When your plan fails, you can frame it as defeat or discovery. The facts remain the same. The meaning changes everything. The weak person accepts the first frame that comes to mind. The strong person examines multiple frames and chooses the most empowering one. The weak person becomes a victim of their perspective. The strong person becomes the author of their perspective. This is not about positive thinking. This is about powerful thinking. This is not about seeing everything as good. This is about seeing everything as useful. This is not about denying difficulty. This is about defining difficulty in a way that serves your growth instead of sabotaging it. The master reframer asks different questions. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What is this preparing me for?" Instead of, "How can I avoid this?" they ask, "How can I use this?" Instead of, "What am I losing?" they ask, "What am I learning?" These questions create different answers. Different answers create different emotions. Different emotions create different actions. Different actions create different results. The frame is the first domino. Everything else follows from how you choose to see what you're facing. When you reframe your obstacles as opportunities, you start looking for ways to leverage them instead of ways to avoid them. When you reframe your failures as feedback, you start learning from them instead of being defeated by them. When you reframe your struggles as strength training, you start growing through them instead of being broken by them. The person who cannot reframe remains stuck in their original interpretation forever. They become prisoners of their first impression. They stay trapped in their initial reaction. They surrender their power to their automatic perspective. The person who masters reframing becomes free to choose their experience. They escape the prison of limited perspective. They break free from the trap of toxic interpretation. They reclaim their power to define what everything means. This skill is the difference between those who break through and those who break down, between those who rise and those who remain, between those who transform obstacles into stepping stones and those who let obstacles become stumbling blocks. But reframing requires practice. It demands discipline. It needs intentionality. Your mind will default to familiar frames, comfortable interpretations, habitual perspectives. You must consciously choose better frames, empowering interpretations, growth-oriented perspectives. Next time you face a challenge, stop. Before you accept your first interpretation, ask yourself, is there another way to see this? Before you surrender to your automatic response, ask, what frame would serve me better? Before you lock into your initial perspective, ask, how would someone who overcomes obstacles view the situation? Then choose the frame that empowers you instead of the frame that imprisons you. Choose the interpretation that strengthens you instead of the interpretation that weakens you. Choose the perspective that opens possibilities instead of the perspective that closes them. This is how you reframe your way to freedom. This is how you change your perspective to change your life. This is how you stop being stuck in situations and start being empowered by them. You can't predict the world, but you can prepare your soul. Fortune is fickle. Today she smiles, tomorrow she frowns. This week she gives, next week she takes. This year she builds you up, next year she tears you down. This is her nature. This is her game. You cannot change this, but you can change how you play. Most people try to predict fortune's next move. They analyze trends. They follow patterns. They seek certainty in an uncertain world. They exhaust themselves trying to control what cannot be controlled. They waste their energy attempting to guarantee what cannot be guaranteed. The wise person takes a different approach. Instead of trying to predict what will happen, they prepare for whatever happens. Instead of seeking to control external events, they focus on strengthening internal resources. Instead of attempting to guarantee favorable circumstances, they develop the ability to thrive in any circumstances. You cannot make the storm pass, but you can learn to dance in the rain. You cannot prevent all losses, but you can build the resilience to recover from any loss. You cannot avoid every setback, but you can develop the strength to come back from every setback. This is what it means to be unshaken. Not that nothing ever rocks you, but that when something rocks you, you do not break. Not that you never fall, but that when you fall, you get back up. Not that you never face adversity, but that when you face adversity, you use it to become stronger. The unshaken person is not someone who has never been tested. The unshaken person is someone who has been tested and emerged stronger. They are not untouched by difficulty. They are unchanged by difficulty. They are not immune to challenge. They are improved by challenge. But here's what most people don't understand about being unshaken. It is not a natural state. It is a developed state. It is not something you are born with. It is something you build within yourself. It is not a gift of genetics. It is a product of practice. Every time you face uncertainty and maintain your composure, you become more unshaken. Every time you encounter setback and keep your perspective, you become more unshaken. Every time you experience loss and preserve your hope, you become more unshaken. The tree that survives the hurricane is not the tree that avoided the wind. It is the tree whose roots grew deep enough to anchor it when the wind came. The building that survives the earthquake is not the building that avoided the shaking. It is the building whose foundation was strong enough to withstand the shaking. Your character is your foundation. Your principles are your roots. Your inner strength is your anchor. When you build these deep enough and strong enough, no external force can topple you. You may bend, but you will not break. You may sway, but you will not fall. Fortune tests everyone. Some pass the test, some fail the test. The difference is not in the severity of the test. The difference is in the preparation for the test. Those who prepare their souls remain steady when fortune changes. Those who neglect their souls are shattered when fortune shifts. How do you prepare your soul? You practice virtue when it's easy so you can maintain virtue when it's hard. You develop discipline in small things so you can exercise discipline in large things. You build mental strength in good times so you can access mental strength in bad times. You cannot stockpile money for every possible future expense. But you can develop resourcefulness for every possible future challenge. You cannot save enough time for every possible future demand. But you can cultivate efficiency for every possible future pressure. You cannot accumulate enough information for every possible future situation, but you can develop wisdom for every possible future decision. The unshaken person is rich in character, wealthy in wisdom, abundant in inner resources. When external resources fail, they draw on internal resources. When outer support disappears, they rely on inner strength. When circumstances change, their core remains constant. This is your real security. Not your bank account, though money helps. Not your connections, though relationships matter. Not your achievements, though success is valuable. Your real security is your unshakable character, your unwavering principles, your undaunted spirit. Fortune may take your possessions, but she cannot take your virtue. She may change your circumstances, but she cannot change your character. She may alter your situation, but she cannot touch your soul, unless you let her. The next time fortune shifts against you, remember this: you prepared for this moment every time you chose character over convenience, principle over pleasure, growth over comfort. You are not at fortune's mercy. You are fortune's master. Not because you control what happens, but because you control who you become through what happens. Fortune favors the unshaken because the unshaken have learned fortune's secret. External circumstances are temporary. Internal character is permanent. Build what lasts. Strengthen what endures. Develop what cannot be taken away. Every level of your life will be introduced by discomfort. Don't run from it. Rise to meet it. The caterpillar must dissolve completely before it becomes a butterfly. The seed must be buried in darkness before it becomes a tree. The metal must be heated in fire before it becomes a sword. The person must be stretched beyond comfort before they become extraordinary. This is the law of growth. This is the price of progress. This is the cost of transformation. You cannot become more while remaining the same. You cannot rise to a new level while staying in your current comfort zone. You cannot upgrade your life without upgrading your capacity for discomfort. Most people want growth without discomfort. They want progress without pressure. They want transformation without turbulence. They want to become extraordinary while remaining comfortable. This is impossible. This is childish thinking. This is the mindset that keeps people ordinary forever. The muscle grows when it is stressed beyond its current capacity. The mind grows when it is challenged beyond its current limits. The character grows when it is tested beyond its current strength. The spirit grows when it is stretched beyond its current boundaries. Discomfort is not your enemy. Discomfort is your invitation. It is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is changing. It is not evidence that you should stop. It is evidence that you should continue. But here's what most people don't understand about discomfort. The discomfort of growth is temporary. The comfort of staying the same is permanent. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. The discomfort of becoming better is brief. The discomfort of remaining worse is eternal. When you feel uncomfortable, you are in the growth zone. When you feel challenged, you are in the development zone. When you feel stretched, you are in the transformation zone. These are not places to avoid. These are places to embrace. The person who runs from discomfort runs from growth. The person who avoids challenge avoids development. The person who escapes pressure escapes progress. They choose the comfort of staying small over the discomfort of becoming great. Every skill you have acquired required you to be uncomfortable while learning it. Every strength you have developed demanded you to be challenged while building it. Every achievement you have accomplished forced you to be stretched while pursuing it. Discomfort was not the obstacle to your success. Discomfort was the path to your success. The new level of life you want exists on the other side of discomfort. The person you want to become lives beyond your current comfort zone. The success you desire waits past the point where you want to quit. You must be willing to be uncomfortable, to become who you're capable of being. This is why successful people have a different relationship with discomfort than unsuccessful people. Unsuccessful people see discomfort as a problem to solve. Successful people see discomfort as a signal to follow. Unsuccessful people interpret discomfort as evidence they're going the wrong way. Successful people interpret discomfort as evidence they're going the right way. When you start a new business, you will be uncomfortable with uncertainty. When you pursue a new relationship, you will be uncomfortable with vulnerability. When you develop a new skill, you will be uncomfortable with incompetence. When you attempt a new challenge, you will be uncomfortable with difficulty. This discomfort does not mean you should stop. This discomfort means you are exactly where you need to be to grow into who you need to become. Do not run from the discomfort. Run toward it. Do not avoid the challenge. Embrace it. Do not escape the pressure. Use it. The wise person learns to dance with discomfort instead of fighting against it. They learn to see discomfort as information instead of intimidation. They learn to interpret discomfort as invitation instead of warning. But let me ask you this. Where in your life are you currently avoiding discomfort? What growth are you postponing because it requires you to be uncomfortable? What transformation are you delaying because it demands you to be challenged? What success are you sabotaging because it expects you to be stretched? You know the answer. You know exactly where you are choosing comfort over growth, ease over progress, safety over possibility. This is where your breakthrough waits. This is where your next level lives. This is where your transformation begins. The path to extraordinary requires you to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. The way to exceptional demands you to embrace challenge as opportunity. The journey to greatness insists you to see discomfort as your guide, not your enemy. Growth demands discomfort. This is not punishment. This is possibility. This is not cruelty. This is kindness. This is not life working against you. This is life working for you, preparing you for something greater than what you currently are. Stop running from discomfort. Start running toward it. Stop avoiding challenges. Start embracing them. Stop escaping pressure. Start using it. Your growth is waiting for you on the other side of your willingness to be uncomfortable. Don't numb it. Don't resent it. Learn from it. Let it shape you into something stronger. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Pain is what happens to you. Suffering is what you do with what happens to you. Pain is temporary. Suffering can be permanent. Pain can be useful. Suffering is always wasteful. Most people try to escape pain. They numb it with pleasure. They distract themselves with entertainment. They medicate it with substances. They avoid it with busyness. They deny it with optimism. They resent it with bitterness. All of these responses waste the gift that pain brings. Pain is information. Pain is instruction. Pain is invitation. It tells you something important about your life, your choices, your direction. It teaches you something essential about yourself, your limits, your potential. It invites you to something greater than what you currently are. But you must learn to listen to pain instead of silencing it. You must learn to receive pain instead of rejecting it. You must learn to use pain instead of being used by it. This requires a fundamentally different relationship with discomfort than most people have. The weak person experiences pain and asks, "How can I make this stop?" The strong person experiences pain and asks, "What is this trying to teach me?" The weak person views pain as purely negative. The strong person views pain as potentially valuable. Physical pain teaches you about your body. Emotional pain teaches you about your heart. Mental pain teaches you about your mind. Spiritual pain teaches you about your soul. Each type of pain carries specific information about specific areas of your life that need attention, adjustment, or growth. When your body hurts, it is telling you something about your health, your habits, your limits. When your heart hurts, it is telling you something about your relationships, your values, your needs. When your mind hurts, it is telling you something about your thoughts, your beliefs, your perspective. When your soul hurts, it is telling you something about your purpose, your meaning, your direction. The person who numbs all pain misses all lessons. The person who resents all pain wastes all opportunities. The person who avoids all pain prevents all growth. They choose temporary relief over permanent improvement. But here's what most people don't understand about making pain useful. You are not trying to enjoy pain. You are trying to extract value from pain. You are not celebrating suffering. You are capitalizing on the insight suffering provides. You are not welcoming hardship. You are learning from the wisdom hardship offers. The useful response to pain is not, "This feels good." The useful response to pain is, "This teaches me something important." The goal is not to love pain. The goal is to love what pain can produce in you if you respond to it wisely. Every great person in history has learned to make pain useful. They have turned their wounds into wisdom, their scars into strength, their trauma into triumph. Not because they enjoyed the pain, but because they refused to waste the pain. The businessman who was betrayed learned to read people better. The athlete who was injured learned to train smarter. The artist who was rejected learned to create authentically. The leader who was criticized learned to lead effectively. They transformed their pain into power, their setbacks into setups, their problems into possibilities. This transformation does not happen automatically. This transformation happens intentionally. You must choose to learn from pain instead of just enduring pain. You must decide to grow through pain instead of just surviving pain. You must commit to being shaped by pain instead of just being scarred by pain. When pain comes, and it will come, ask better questions. Instead of, "Why me?" ask, "What now?" Instead of, "How long will this last?" ask, "How can I last through this?" Instead of, "What did I do to deserve this?" ask, "What can I do with this?" These questions redirect your focus from the problem to the possibility, from the hurt to the help, from the wound to the wisdom. They transform you from victim to student, from sufferer to learner, from casualty to conqueror. Pain can make you bitter or better. Trauma can break you or build you. Hardship can weaken you or strengthen you. The difference lies not in the intensity of the pain, but in the intentionality of your response. Make your pain useful. Extract the lesson. Harvest the wisdom. Gather the strength. Let pain shape you into someone stronger, wiser, more compassionate, more resilient. Let pain be your teacher, not your tormentor. This is how you honor what you have suffered. This is how you redeem what you have lost. This is how you transform what tried to destroy you into what develops you. This is how you make pain useful instead of just painful. When chaos rises, character is exposed. Do what's right, especially when it's hardest. Anyone can be good when it's easy. Anyone can be honest when it costs nothing. Anyone can be loyal when it's convenient. Anyone can be kind when it's comfortable. Anyone can be brave when it's safe. The true test of character comes when doing right is difficult, costly, inconvenient, uncomfortable, and dangerous. Integrity is not what you do when people are watching. Integrity is what you do when no one is watching. Integrity is not what you do when the stakes are low. Integrity is what you do when the stakes are high. Integrity is not what you do when it's easy. Integrity is what you do when it's hardest. The storm reveals what fair weather conceals. Crisis exposes what comfort hides. Pressure shows what ease masks. Adversity uncovers what prosperity covers. In the storm, you discover who you really are beneath who you pretend to be. Most people have situational ethics. Their morality depends on their circumstances. They are honest when honesty is profitable. They are loyal when loyalty is rewarded. They are courageous when courage is celebrated. They are kind when kindness is returned. Their character changes with their conditions. The person of integrity has unconditional ethics. Their morality is independent of their circumstances. They are honest when honesty is costly. They are loyal when loyalty is punished. They are courageous when courage is criticized. They are kind when kindness is rejected. Their character remains constant despite changing conditions. This is the difference between having character and being a character. Having character means your values are internal and unchanging. Being a character means your values are external and shifting. Having character means you do what's right because it's right. Being a character means you do what's convenient because it's convenient. But here's what most people don't understand about integrity in the storm. It is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. It is not about never making mistakes. It is about consistently trying to do what's right. It is not about never failing. It is about consistently getting back up when you fall. When the storm comes, you will be tempted to compromise. You will be pressured to cut corners. You will be encouraged to take shortcuts. You will be advised to bend your principles. You will be told that everyone else is doing it. You will be convinced that just this once won't matter. This is when character counts most. This is when integrity matters most. This is when your principles are most valuable and most vulnerable. Anyone can stand firm in calm weather. The question is, can you stand firm in the storm? The person who maintains integrity in the storm becomes unshakable. They prove to themselves and others that their values are not negotiable. They demonstrate that their character is not for sale. They show that their principles are stronger than their pressures. Every time you choose integrity over advantage, you become stronger. Every time you choose character over convenience, you become more trustworthy. Every time you choose principles over profit, you become more respected. Every time you choose right over easy, you become more valuable. But integrity in the storm is costly. It may cost you money. It may cost you relationships. It may cost you opportunities. It may cost you popularity. It may cost you comfort. The question is, what will it cost you if you lose your integrity? When you lose money, you can earn it back. When you lose opportunities, you can create new ones. When you lose popularity, you can rebuild it. When you lose your integrity, what have you really lost? You have lost yourself. You have lost your self-respect. You have lost your ability to trust yourself. The person who compromises their integrity in the storm may gain temporary advantage, but loses permanent strength. They may win the moment, but lose their character. They may get what they want, but lose who they are. Integrity in the storm is not just about doing what's right for others. Integrity in the storm is about doing what's right for yourself. It is about being able to look yourself in the mirror. It is about being able to sleep peacefully at night. It is about being able to respect the person you see when you wake up. In the morning, when the next storm comes, and it will come, remember this: your character is your most valuable possession. Your integrity is your greatest asset. Your principles are your real treasure. Guard them carefully. Protect them fiercely. Preserve them regardless of cost. Do what's right, especially when it's hardest. This is how you build unshakable character. This is how you develop unbreakable integrity. This is how you become someone you can always respect, regardless of what storms you face. The storm will pass. Your character will remain. Make sure you can live with what remains when the storm is over. You are not a puppet of fortune. Let go. Return to what's within your grasp, your focus, your virtue, your action. The secret to peace is simple. Stop trying to control what you cannot control. Start focusing on what you can control. Most suffering comes from this confusion. Most stress stems from this mistake. Most anxiety grows from this error. You exhaust yourself fighting battles you cannot win while neglecting battles you can win. What can you control? Your thoughts, your actions, your responses, your effort, your attitude, your choices, your character, your principles, your focus, your habits. This is your domain. This is your kingdom. This is where your power lives. What cannot you control? Other people's thoughts, other people's actions, other people's responses, the weather, the economy, the past, the future, other people's opinions, other people's choices, natural disasters, political outcomes. This is not your domain. This is not your responsibility. This is where your powerlessness lives. The wise person knows the difference. The foolish person does not. The wise person invests energy in their domain of control. The foolish person wastes energy in domains beyond their control. The wise person becomes powerful. The foolish person becomes frustrated. But here's what most people don't understand about letting go. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is growing up. It is not surrender. It is strategy. It is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is not abandoning your goals. It is focusing your energy where it can actually make a difference. When you try to control what you cannot control, you become a slave to circumstances. When you focus on what you can control, you become the master of your destiny. When you worry about what others think, you surrender your peace to their opinions. When you focus on what you think, you maintain your peace regardless of their opinions. The person who tries to control everything controls nothing. The person who focuses on controlling themselves controls everything that matters. The person who attempts to manage all outcomes manages none effectively. The person who manages their own responses manages their entire experience. You cannot control whether people respect you, but you can control whether you are respectable. You cannot control whether you succeed, but you can control whether you try. You cannot control whether others are honest with you, but you can control whether you are honest with others. You cannot control whether you are loved, but you can control whether you are loving. This shift in focus transforms everything. Instead of being frustrated by what you cannot change, you become empowered by what you can change. Instead of being anxious about what might happen, you become confident about how you will respond to whatever happens. Instead of being dependent on external cooperation, you become independent through internal development. The businessman cannot control market conditions, but he can control his preparation for any conditions. The athlete cannot control the judge's scores, but she can control her performance. The student cannot control the difficulty of the test, but he can control his level of study. The parent cannot control their child's every choice, but she can control her own example. Let go of trying to control other people. Focus on controlling yourself. Let go of trying to control outcomes. Focus on controlling your effort. Let go of trying to control the future. Focus on controlling the present moment. Let go of trying to control what happens to you. Focus on controlling what you do with what happens to you. This is not about becoming passive. This is about becoming powerful. This is not about caring less. This is about caring more effectively. This is not about lowering your standards. This is about raising your focus. When you let go of what you cannot control, you free up enormous energy. Energy that was wasted on worry becomes available for work. Energy that was spent on anxiety becomes available for action. Energy that was lost to frustration becomes available for focus. But letting go requires practice. your mind will return to old patterns. You will catch yourself trying to control the uncontrollable. You will slip back into worrying about what you cannot change. This is normal. The key is to notice when this happens and gently return your attention to what you can control. Every time you notice your mind trying to control what it cannot control, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? Then focus there. Every time you catch yourself worrying about what might happen, ask yourself, what can I do right now? Then do that. Every time you find yourself frustrated by what others are doing, ask yourself, what should I be doing? Then do that. This practice will transform your life. You will become more peaceful because you will stop fighting unwinnable battles. You will become more powerful because you will focus your energy where it can make a difference. You will become more productive because you will stop wasting time on what doesn't matter. Let go of what you cannot control. Return to what you can control. This is the path to peace. This is the way to power. This is the secret to sanity in an insane world. You are not a puppet of fortune. You are the author of your response to fortune. Focus there. Act there. Grow there. Control there. One challenge doesn't make you tough. Many do. Consistency in adversity creates an unbreakable core. The tree that weathers one storm is still fragile. The tree that weathers many storms becomes unshakable. The muscle that lifts one heavy weight is still weak. The muscle that lifts heavy weights repeatedly becomes strong. The person who faces one challenge is still vulnerable. The person who faces many challenges becomes resilient. Resilience is not built in a moment. Resilience is built over many moments. It is not forged in a single crisis. It is forged through repeated crises. It is not developed through one test. It is developed through persistent testing. Resilience is the compound interest of character development. Most people think resilience is a talent you are born with or without. They believe some people are naturally tough while others are naturally fragile. They assume resilience is fixed and unchangeable. This is false. Resilience is a skill that can be developed, a strength that can be built, a capacity that can be expanded. But resilience is not built through comfort. It is built through challenge. It is not developed through ease. It is developed through effort. It is not strengthened through safety. It is strengthened through struggle. Each time you face adversity and persevere, you become more resilient. Each time you encounter setback and recover, you become more resilient. The key word is repetition. One workout does not create fitness. One study session does not create knowledge. One act of courage does not create bravery. One moment of perseverance does not create resilience. It is the accumulation of many workouts, many study sessions, many acts of courage, many moments of perseverance that creates lasting transformation. Here's what most people don't understand about building resilience. You do not wait for major crises to practice resilience. You practice resilience in minor difficulties. You do not wait for life-threatening challenges to develop toughness. You develop toughness through everyday obstacles. You do not wait for extraordinary adversity to build strength. You build strength through ordinary resistance. The person who cannot handle small disappointments will crumble under large defeats. The person who cannot endure minor discomfort will break under major pressure. The person who cannot persist through everyday challenges will quit when facing extraordinary challenges. But the person who consistently handles small setbacks builds the capacity to handle large setbacks. The person who regularly endures minor discomfort develops the ability to endure major discomfort. The person who persistently overcomes everyday obstacles creates the strength to overcome extraordinary obstacles. Every small act of resilience is an investment in your future capacity to handle larger challenges. Every minor demonstration of toughness is preparation for major tests of character. Every little bit of perseverance is training for the big moments when perseverance will determine your destiny. This is why you should not avoid small challenges. This is why you should not eliminate minor discomforts. This is why you should not escape everyday difficulties. They are your training ground. They are your preparation. They are your opportunity to build the resilience you will need when larger challenges arrive. The athlete trains with light weights before heavy weights. The musician practices simple songs before complex compositions. The student masters basic concepts before advanced theories. The resilient person develops strength through small challenges before large challenges. But building resilience requires consistency. It demands regularity. It needs repetition. You cannot build resilience by facing one huge challenge and then avoiding all future challenges. You build resilience by consistently facing challenges of appropriate difficulty and gradually increasing that difficulty over time. This process never ends. There is no point at which you become completely resilient and never need to practice again. Like physical fitness, resilience requires ongoing maintenance. Like any skill, resilience requires continuous development. You are either building resilience or losing it. There is no standing still. The good news is that life provides abundant opportunities to practice resilience. Every day brings small challenges, minor setbacks, little disappointments, everyday obstacles. Instead of cursing these experiences, use them. Instead of avoiding these difficulties, embrace them. Instead of minimizing these challenges, maximize the growth they offer. Each time you face a small challenge and persist, you make a deposit in your resilience account. Each time you encounter a minor setback and recover, you build your capacity for future recovery. Each time you experience a little difficulty and push through, you strengthen your ability to push through bigger difficulties. Resilience is built in repetition. One challenge starts the process. Many challenges complete it. Consistency in adversity creates an unbreakable core, not because you become immune to difficulty, but because you become capable of handling any difficulty. The next time you face a small challenge, remember this. You are not just dealing with a momentary problem. You are building your capacity to deal with all future problems. You are not just getting through this difficulty. You are developing the strength to get through any difficulty. Resilience is built in repetition. Embrace the repetition. Welcome the practice. Appreciate the training. Each challenge makes you stronger for the next challenge. You are not what happened. You are who you became because of it. The gold does not fear the fire, because the fire cannot destroy what is valuable in the gold. The fire can only remove what is impure, what is unnecessary, what does not belong. The fire refines the gold. It does not define the gold. The gold was precious before the fire. The fire simply reveals that preciousness more clearly. You are the gold. Your trials are the fire. What happens to you is the heat that burns away what is not essential, what is not authentic, what is not truly you. The fire cannot destroy your worth. The fire can only reveal your worth more clearly. But most people misunderstand their relationship with adversity. They think their struggles define them. They believe their hardships determine their value. They assume their pain dictates their worth. They let their worst moments become their identity instead of letting their response to their worst moments become their identity. You are not your trauma. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not your losses. You are not your setbacks. You are not what was done to you. You are not what you have suffered. You are who you choose to become through what you have suffered. Thiao, fire refines you. It does not define you. Your struggles shape you. They do not shame you. Your challenges change you. They do not chain you. Your obstacles transform you. They do not trap you. You are refined by what you experience, not defined by what you experience. Here's what most people don't understand about the refining process. The fire burns away what is weak, so what is strong can emerge. The pressure removes what is soft, so what is hard can surface. The adversity eliminates what is false, so what is true can appear. You do not lose yourself in the fire. You find yourself in the fire. Every person who has achieved greatness has been through the fire. They have faced struggles that could have broken them, challenges that could have defeated them, obstacles that could have stopped them, But instead of being defined by these experiences, they were refined by these experiences. The fire burned away their fear and revealed their courage. The pressure removed their doubt and exposed their confidence. The adversity eliminated their weaknesses and unveiled their strengths. They became not what happened to them, but who they chose to become. Because of what happened to them, this is the difference between victims and victors. Victims are defined by what happened to them. Victors are refined by what happened to them. Victims let their circumstances determine their character. Victors let their character determine their response to their circumstances. The victim says, "I am this way because of what happened to me." The victor says, "I became this way because of how I responded to what happened to me." The victim is trapped by their past. The victor is empowered by their past. The victim is diminished by their struggle. The victor is developed by their struggle. You get to choose which story to tell about your life. You get to decide whether your struggles are your excuse or your explanation for who you became. You get to determine whether your hardships are your limitation or your liberation from limitation. The fire you have walked through was not meant to burn you up. It was meant to burn away everything that was not truly you. The pressure you have endured was not meant to crush you. It was meant to compress you into something stronger, more valuable, more precious. What has the fire burned away in your life? What weaknesses has adversity removed? What fears has challenge eliminated? What limitations has struggle destroyed? You are not less because of what you have lost. You are more because of what you have gained through loss. The refined gold is more valuable than the unrefined gold. The tempered steel is stronger than the untempered steel. The seasoned warrior is more capable than the untested soldier. The person who has been through the fire is more powerful than the person who has avoided the fire. Your scars are not signs of damage. Your scars are signs of healing. Your struggles are not evidence of weakness. Your struggles are evidence of strength. Your pain is not proof of failure. Your pain is proof of your capacity to endure and overcome. Do not let what happened to you become your identity. Let who you became because of what happened to you become your identity. Do not let your worst day define your whole life. Let your response to your worst day refine your whole life. The fire refines you. It does not define you. You are not what happened. You are who you became because of it. You are not your circumstances. You are your character. You are not your story. You are the storyteller who decides what your story means. You have been refined by fire. You have been strengthened by struggle. You have been purified by pressure. You are more valuable now than you were before the fire. The fire revealed what was always true. You are precious. You are powerful. You are unbreakable. You already have what it takes. Now go prove it.